just want to take a moment to say some real radical but positive stuff, and I want to say, like, so Dave, where's some of this constructive basis behind this rebellion of yours? And I just want to say, like, okay, listen, don't charge for things that people need to live. Don't charge for food. Don't charge for housing. Don't charge for medical care. Don't charge for eyeglasses. Don't charge for dentistry. Don't charge for basic clothing. And there are probably a few other things in there. Don't charge for them, because when you put the basic, foundations of human life, the biological necessity for life, in peril, you always have a tyrannical society. The only way you can say you have a society is when everyone has an equal chance at the basic necessities for life. That could include education. Probably should. Because to do otherwise is always going to have an inequality in the society. Now, you may say, well, we want a little competition. All right, I'll agree with you on that. But that competition should happen in arenas where it's decided there's going to be competition, just like sports, okay? Like if there's going to be capitalistic competition, it should be in an arena where people who want to compete can compete, okay? Not a place where you force the people who aren't fit for that competition to have to compete, because that's not right. You want to make sure, if you want to be talking about humanity, you want to make sure that everyone has an equal chance at being human as everyone else. You don't want to, because any other way it's always going to be based on a point of judgment, okay? Like if you're going to talk about being useful to society from the perspective of who, okay? Or you want to talk about people taking from you or giving people from the perspective of what, okay? It's all there are some absolutes maybe, but you have to admit most of it is always relative, and because it's relative, if we can take care of the basics for all people, there's less excuse for tyranny or the impression of tyranny. Now, I'm sure maybe we'll always find some way to exist, but if you take care of the basics first and take those and remove those from the arena of competition, you actually give everyone a much more human chance to be whatever they are, and that includes the things that we can't imagine, okay? The best things in life are new things. Like, before the Beatles, no one knew about the Beatles. Before Marilyn Monroe, no one knew about, that kind of an archetype of, of beauty and humanity, okay? What I'm saying is that once you say and everyone has to do X, you've already cut off possibilities that are part of our infinite heritage as human beings. So, if you're going to start saying, like, Heinlein, I think in The Cat That Walks Through Walls, has this scene where these two older heroes or protagonists are carting around this young, idiotic, spoiled kid, and they're on another planet, right? And they have to buy bottled air in order to breathe, okay? And this kid says, I don't believe that we should have to pay for our air. I think that's wrong. And boy, does he give it to him. He turns around and says, you can just go out into the curb right now and suffocate. Of course you have to pay for your air. We have to pay for everything, okay? What do you expect? Things be handed to you for free and not to work? Well, what I'm saying is that, well, if no one's going to give you a job because they don't like you, then I guess you're going to die. And if you're going to die, then they don't have any right of being protected from you, which means that you can kill them and steal their air, because I guess anything goes. I don't understand how you're going to have humanity that just goes halfway. We're going to have a humanity where we respect each other's right not to steal, but we're also not going to give you any air, but then we're going to expect you not to steal that air from us. So it just becomes about force, okay? And if you don't want to have society that's just about force, luck, capriciousness, and what's in and what's out, and politics, you set up a basis for a real civilization, in my opinion, where everybody has an equal chance and doesn't have to worry about dying every 5 minutes because they're unpopular and didn't make the cut by some preset judgments that apply to everybody, no matter what, and you can't opt out from it. Okay? You need to be able to choose whether you want to compete or not, or otherwise it's tyranny, and Heinlein never liked tyranny. So if you set up an equal foundation for every citizen from which they can decide what they want to do from there, then you just remove a lot of the possibilities for tyranny in our society.